Hi, sleepy boy. Hi, sleepy boy. If you're just joining us, we're back in Rescue Bay. We're being quiet. Dash received a syringe injection via the side of the crate. He really didn't stop chuffing through the whole thing. And we are now letting him fall asleep quietly and calmly in his crate. So when a cat's going down, we also have our vet team here. They're watching the position that he goes down in to make sure that he is breathing well, that he doesn't twist his neck or anything. We also watch to make sure that he's in a good position if he were to vomit while going down, because we don't want them to aspirate. We're talking quiet, and we usually turn off the lights to try and decrease any stimulation so that he's not fighting anesthesia. He's in a great position for going to sleep right now. And so if you're just joining us, we're taking you for Dash is going to sleep. He was given an IM, intramuscular injection. And usually what we can see is with the cocktail we use that within 6 minutes we start seeing signs of the drug taking effect, and usually within 10 minutes we will see them fully asleep. Obviously our staff will test him by taking something and poke his ear, touch his ear to see if we get an ear flick or any stimulation. And then they're writing down the time of when the injection was given. They're monitoring the heart rate and breathing. His rear end just is sliding sideways. So he's going deeper asleep. So this was a very nice, nice immobilization. Now tigers can sometimes have seizures on immobilization medication, and we add drugs to really help alleviate that. And then just like humans, it can cause some nausea. So sometimes during going down or coming up from it, they can vomit a little bit. But Dash has been doing extremely well. So Dash is going to have a full exam today, blood work, give him any booster vaccines he needs. Dr. Camper will do a full exam to check joints and teeth and all that good stuff. We'll do radiographs, as Dr. Camper said. And then he will get his neuter, and why he still just went down. So we'll give him a few more minutes before we test him. Immobilizations and vet days are long days because of all the preparation that goes into it. Being patient to make sure the medications work, not rushing the animal or causing undue stress. The surgery and exams themselves, and then the recovery. We'll take you through that today too, because it doesn't end just when the procedure's done. So it's been 10 minutes since his injection. They're communicating to each other, should we test or not test? Yep, we're gonna give him his his full 15 minutes before we test him, given he's showing some reflexes right now, and we don't want to stimulate him while he's absorbing and metabolizing that drug. So thanks for everyone who's been tuning in. We are in Rescue Bay, watching and monitoring Dash going down from his immobilization before he's lifted onto the scale and into the room for his exam. So the one thing we're cautious of is not to intervene too soon, because crates and the metal sounds of the chain and all of that are really high-pitched noise that can really alert and stimulate the cats. And we don't want to stimulate him where we'd have to give him more drugs. So Dash has done great so far. Today he made vet days look super easy because he walked right into his crate and he chuffed the entire time. On cats that won't go into crates, as you know, we do operant conditioning to get them desensitized to the crate in hopes that they will voluntarily go into the crate. But for cats that don't go into the crates, they'll be immobilized in their room and then put in the crate sedated before they come to the hospital. But our preference is to bring them to the hospital awake if they allow it, so that they can be closely monitored and already be near all the resources during their immobilization. So our big boy's asleep. He'll be going into the hospital in just a short time. Today we're taking you behind the scenes of the entire vet day. And we want to remind everybody that there's only 5 days left of the miracle match, where your donations are tripled. So on this live post, we'd love to raise another $1,000, not only towards vet days like this, but towards the daily care for rescued residents like Dash. I would move, but I lose service if I move away from the hospital door. So we have made our guesses on how much we think Dash weighs. I'd love to hear your guesses. So right now Elise is just touching his eye to see if there's any reflex, touching his ear. So you did get a palpebral reflex, which means he's no ear reflex, but a palpebral. So this is when the vet team decides if we're going to just wait the full 15 minutes or if we'll give him a bump, which means a little bit more medication to make sure there's no reflexes. So he'll be receiving a hand injection of just a little more of his immobilization cocktail. And part of that was when Elise gave the injection, the first thing, she didn't know if all of it, she looked at it and a little of it hadn't dispensed from the syringe, so we know it's safe to give this little bump. It's amazing to see Dash asleep and calm. It reminds me of when this rambunctious little cub was crazy wild every moment he was awake. And then when he would sleep after his bottle, he just seemed so innocent. Even though they're apex predators, there's still innocence in wild animals because sadly, once they're in captivity, they're 100% dependent upon us and in our control. But we never lose the respect that they are apex predators and deserves to be treated as such. So now they're just discussing right now how much time after that last bump before they check for a palpebral again and decide it's safe to move him out of the crate. So as you guys remember, our old hospital we would be all in this teeny room with him and having rescue bay where they were able to drive in. Keep him in this heated area. It has in-floor heat in here. And he'll be able to recover here too is so much important to making these vet days go smoothly. So if you're just joining us, we're the Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone, Minnesota. Today we're taking you on behind the scenes medical marathon of Tiger Dash, who we like to say Tiger Cub Dash, but he's now in adolescence. Here at the sanctuary, we neuter and spay all of our residents unless there's a medical reason not to, or we vasectomize the male lions so they don't lose their mane. That might seem counterintuitive for people that say tigers need conservation, but sadly, tigers are overbred in the U.S., and generic tigers, especially that have no conservation value. They've been bred in backyards by roadside breeders and do not have genetics that can contribute to wildlife conservation. And we don't want any more big cats being bred and exploited like Dash's family was, being sold on the internet, sold for cub petting experiences. And so we neuter and spay our residents. We do not buy, breed, trade, or sell residents. And it also makes them a healthier animal. We don't have to worry about cancers. It can help with temperament and mergers and things like that. So there's many benefits, just like with your domestic dogs and cats, to spay and neuter generic surplus wild animals in captivity. So you can see patience is a big part of our day. Patience from how slow and methodical the staff was when they crated Dash. Even though he was easy to be crated, there's other cats that, like Sabrina and others, that were way more hesitant of crates. And so trying to make it as less stressful is important. And then waiting the time for the medications to take effect so that the rest of the procedure goes smoothly and that we don't have to give too many drugs is very important. So she's checking his palpebral reflex again, just by touching his ear. She's moving his ear. The ears tend to be very sensitive. She's saying she's getting just a very, very slight palpebral reflex, and sometimes they maintain that throughout, but we're very cautious of that because those are the first signs we see when a cat is waking up from anesthesia as well. So we're trying to raise $1,000 on this live post. I know this live post might not be as exciting as some others, but it is such an important part of a vet day. And so they're discussing again next steps or how long they're going to wait. And now, as a double check, making some noise is the final check. We can turn on the light to rescue bay. Whoops, can you turn on? There you go. It's that double light. So now you can see we can raise our voices again. He's been checked that he is fully sedated from anesthesia and can be safely moved. We are going to sign off and let them do the heavy lifting, get him out, and we'll join us again when we are moving him to the table for his full exam.